So, can everyone hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Loud and clear, Daddy. Let's go.
I'm now holding my mic because for some reason I'm starting to cough and I don't know why, but I think it's going to add a little bit to my soliloquy right here. Soliloquy or monologue or whatever you call it. So a little bit of his background. I watched Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and I immediately fell in love with the original movie adaptation. It is my favorite movie of all time. I watch it every single year. I love that movie, and I still love that movie. Eventually, I read the entire graphic novel or comic book series, and I love that as well. I think Scott Pilgrim is just a great story. It has a lot of things that I just like about it. I think it really captures the zeitgeist of millennials around that time when it was made, and I think it's just great overall. What I watched was Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, an abomination, a complete betrayal of that narrative. Originally, I wanted to come on and whinge about it because it was just awful. But then Billy Bob Sack came to me and said, "You should probably watch the whole thing." Because I told him
mistake.
I only watched the first 2 episodes. And I'm like, I'm not going to give this piece of crap any more of my time. But then Billy Bob Sack said, "But then you'll be an expert on it, just like Nerdrotic was with Rings of Power." And I said, "I fucking hate you."
He's a sadist. What do you expect?
Well, listen, it was a good argument, you know?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Billy Bob, did you also mention that he should do some jigsaw puzzles too? Or no?
Oh, yeah. Jigsaw puzzles, huh?
Jigsaw puzzles are fucking great.
Yeah, no, Rondo, I heard that they turned him turned him into the bad guy of his own
That is
series.
true. I will get to that.
Wait, whoa. Back up.
This isn't even like a sequel to the original story. It's a remake, which is what Anton told me.
Yeah.
It's even worse.
So I'm going to go. God. I'm going to go through. I'm probably going to say spoilers, but I do not care. If you are worried about spoilers, don't be. Please don't watch this. I'm begging you, to everyone who can hear me right now. Don't watch this. Watch the movie, read the comic books. Just do not watch this animated series. It is a complete betrayal of the original narrative. So what happens in this I'm not going to call it an adaptation. In this animated series is it starts off normal where Scott eventually starts trying to date Ramona Flowers, and what's supposed to happen is he's supposed to fight her 7 evil ex-boyfriends. The entire original narrative is that he is supposed to basically defeat them because Ramona has a lot of both Ramona and Scott, they haven't properly dealt with their past. And over the course of defeating the 7 evil exes, they both grow as people, they both overcome their baggage, and they eventually...
Oh, they both do? I thought it was just him, because I've never read or watched anything for it, so that was just my impression. I thought it was just a solo journey to earn her approval.
There's a little more nuance to that, because there's especially the ending of the first movie, where instead of defeating the bad guy with the power of love, he defeats him with the power of self-respect. And there's a lot of like other stuff with it, but the big character arc for kind of both of these people is learning to grow as people and mature, and to stop thinking about just themselves. So what happens in the animated series is that right when he's supposed to defeat the first evil ex, he fucking dies. And I thought this was going to be a fake out. I thought, oh, next episode they're just gonna, Scott's gonna do like some sort of trick, and he's gonna come back and defeat her, and then we're gonna be good. No, episode 2, it starts with his funeral, and I'm like, you have got to be fucking shitting me.
Wait, they He-Manned him? Really?
They He-Manned him.
Yep.
I have not seen that He-Man series, but from everything I've heard, that is accurate.
So it's the Ramona Flower show.
Wait, but I thought in the original Scott Pilgrim movie, didn't he earn a 1-up?
Yeah, he earned a 1-up after.
That was after defeating the Katsuyanagi twins, and that's right before him going up against Gideon Graves. But that happens way later in both the comic and the movie.
Okay.
So we are not even close, if they were even trying to adhere to the original narrative, for that to happen. That just doesn't happen in this new narrative. So at the funeral, no one acts like their friend fucking died. And that was when I knew that this was going to be some woke bullshit. Because no one has any reverence for the death of their friend. Heck, I've never met Stormcrow, but if he died, I'd probably shed some tears. If Royce said that like he wasn't going to do his channel anymore, I would absolutely bawl. If the Gilded was shut down, I would be in tears. I
think we'd all be kind of lost at this point if that happened.
No, we would just set up a new place, but it would be.
Oh, we would, but I mean that would really.
But you understand my sentiment, everyone.
Oh
here.
Oh yeah.
So there is no such reverence by anyone from at this funeral. No one's like crying or like really shedding any tears. Someone cracks a joke, and like it was awful. And then Envy Adams, who is she's basically a legendary rock star in the series, and she dated Scott before she became famous. In the animation, she comes in, she sings a song, and then makes the entire funeral about him. I mean, about her.
Is this a Kevin Smith show?
No, he wasn't even a part of it.
Yeah, no,
but it is.
Kevin Smith has kind of dropped off the deep end as far as like making good quality stuff, but I still don't think he would try to do this again after He-Man.
Oh yeah, he would. He didn't give a fuck what he done to He-Man.
Yeah, so
it's not about him, even though it's named after him.
I was standing there just gobsmacked, like who would ever do this? Even the most conceited narcissist probably wouldn't do that. But maybe I just don't know the depths of human depravity yet, or whatever. I don't know.
So they didn't like revive him in the next episode, or did you just
No. So,
also, wait, Evelyn just mentioned that one of the characters is voiced by Brie Larson. Is that freaking true?
That's
yes.
true.
Yes, Envy Adams is voiced by Brie Larson, and she played
Envy Adams in the movie.
Yes, she played Envy Adams in the movie, and I would say it's probably one of her best roles. She actually
everybody still to this day says she was great in that role.
No, it's really well done. It's perfect for what they were going for with that character. So after this funeral. After this funeral, the narrative now becomes Ramona has to figure out what happens, because she gets an inkling as to, hey, maybe Scott's not dead, because she heard him in the subspace highway, his voice in the subspace highway, and whatever. I'm not going to explain the subspace highway. It's a weird mechanic of the comics. Anyways, so the narrative now is all about Ramona, and it's about her going and talking to her evil exes, trying to figure this out. And along the way, every one of these guys is depicted as like weak, stupid, like two characters are now randomly gay who weren't in the original one. We already had a gay character, technically two, in the original. Well, three actually in the original narrative, and they were fine.
Yeah, they're great. They're great characters. Funny.
And like they just made two people randomly gay, and it's just like what the fuck is happening here?
They looked at the cast and said, "We need more gay."
That's exactly what they said.
No, if you're gonna do that sound effect, you gotta say the line, Kahuna.
I've never
the line.
seen it.
The South Park line.
They didn't put a chick in it. That's for sure.
I've never seen a full episode of South Park.
Well, they turned a chick gay,
Wow,
so they did make her
they
gay.
didn't make Scott's sister gay.
No, they made
friend?
Kim Pine have a makeout session with someone, and like it went badly in the actual like story. But anyways, so eventually it turns out what actually happened is Scott Pilgrim from the future stole the young Scott Pilgrim and took him back to the future, because after the original narrative, old Scott apparently didn't learn anything. He got separated / divorced from Ramona, and now he doesn't know how to deal with it. So now he's kind of just childishly trying to stop Scott and Ramona from ever getting together.
I thought that looked like him in the future. I was wondering what that image was.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
so they turned him into an evil.
What a garbage narrative.
They turned him into a Ramona simp. Scott Pilgrim is not a simp. You can say he's a dumbass because he kind of really fucking is. You can say that he's selfish and 2 steps away from being a bad guy. But he is not a simp, and there are multiple times where he gets girlfriends throughout his past. Like, Ramona isn't the first girl that he's ever dated or anything
she's just
like that.
In the story, she's just the girl. Correct?
Yeah, she's just the girl. It's more like, oh, this is the prettiest girl that I've ever seen, and I want to be with her. It's kind of more like that, instead of like, oh, she's the perfect one. Oh, if she was Amaranth, I would give her all my money. No, it's nothing like that.
And so they Luke Skywalkered him, like in The Last Jedi, like changed things about his character, made him old and made him crappy.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. By the way, talking about The Last Jedi, this is my Last Jedi. I know all the people from Geeks and Gamers say, if you bring up The Last Jedi, you're going to hear an hour rant from them.
Yeah, exactly.
The Last Jedi is my most hated movie of all time.
Guys,
of all movies.
Hold on. Rondo. If, I have my arms open, man. Give me a hug. I'm so sorry. Man. This is horrible for you.
Thank you, Stormcrow. I appreciate that. So, anyways, what eventually happens after that is old Ramona from old Scott's timeline takes Scott back to the present, and they basically just try to resolve it, but all the other dudes, after talking with Ramona, kind of just stop being evil, and apparently everyone's just kind of fucking friends now out of fucking nowhere.
So there's no tension in the story anymore, because
so it's not just the power of friendship, it's the power of spontaneous friendship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's there's so much fucking wasted time in this shit. And then what eventually happens is Old Scott brings everyone, all the evil X's, all of the side characters back to like some sub-dimension, and it's not old Scott, it's even older Scott. So it's him plus another 10 years. And for the past 10 years, he's basically just gone deeper into his delusions about Ramona and stuff, and he's done nothing but train for the past decade, and now he wants to kill everyone just because he wants to stop this from ever happening again.
What?
Then
Bro.
the way he
I'm not
gets
even
stopped,
a fan of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and this sounds terrible.
and then
This is how I felt about Dragon Ball Evolution.
then he's not defeated by normal Scott or present Scott. He's defeated by present Ramona and even older Ramona, who somehow fused together, going this sort of Super Saiyan or Supersonic, because they reference Sonic, right? They reference, Sonic using all the Chaos Emeralds to go supersonic, and she just defeats him. I don't even know what happened there, but that's what happens in the plot.
I am disgusted and appalled.
That
Rip
sounds
Scott Pilgrim.
terrible.
And then it just kind of ends and whatnot.
I'm looking at my
Like-
Scott Pilgrim versus the World DVD right now. Just like, yep. Maybe I should watch
Yeah,
that.
apparently,
been a
what I'm
while.
hearing is I need to watch the original movie because I still haven't
Yeah,
seen
the
it.
movie's not for everyone, but it is not horrible like I think some people.
yeah.
Billy
Yeah,
Bob,
I would-
Billy
I
Bob
would
look
agree
Years
with
at
you.
me.
ago, I liked it. It was
Billy
fun.
Bob,
You
look at
either
me. Do
love
I look
Edgar
like
Wright's
someone who wouldn't
directing or
enjoy
you hate it?
Scott Pilgrim?
So
Hold up.
what?
There we go. Yeah.
I don't see anything
Let's
wrong with
just
this.
stare at him for a bit.
Your future's so
So-
bright.
You got a
You
problem.
gotta wear shades.
Oh. Truth be told, I have like 2 other pairs of glasses. My nice pairs that I actually have to get repaired. Unfortunately, they're worth enough money. It'll actually be worth it. So
Oh, I'm just
Christian,
noticing your
Christian,
book
Christian,
stand behind
hold
all your sunglasses.
You almost
So-
ready to go
One of
welding?
those.
So
Christian,
just
you know what you are? You're a fat Neo. That's what you are.
what did he just say?
Fat Neo.
That's mean. That is so mean.
my
Eric
gosh.
Wagner
But it's
joined
Neo.
us, as has R.C. Scott.
R.C. Scott.
So, anyways, in conclusion, this is not an adaptation of the original source material. In fact, the worst line in this entire animation is at one point. So, young Neil, a side character, and he's not. They expanded his role in this just to be the village idiot. More like the guy who is so stupid he can't even do basic arithmetic. But so they do this thing where young Neil writes the original quote unquote storyline, and they shit on it for an entire episode. And then even later, they go like some other people in the friendship group try to adapt it, and they say we want to keep it to the original source material. I was like, oh,
What?
you do? Oh, that's when you want to care, not with this entire fucking show, but you want to do it in universe. Okay, fuck you.
They're just mocking you front to
Yeah.
your face. Right
No,
now.
That is
they are
mocking
slapping
the
me in the
fans.
face.
They're
Are
Marxists,
the
they don't
original
really like this
creators
stuff.
even like involved with this show at all?
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah, I
like
wanna
unzip
know
right on your forehead.
Yeah. I think Brian Lee O'Malley, who I'm pretty sure is the original creator, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. His name is all over this, so I don't know how much creative control he had, but I don't know.
It sounds
He
like
could. I
Littleton.
mean, he could have no control, or he could be like the Percy Jackson.
You gotta look at
back to it.
executive producers. Look at the executive producer. They usually have the most control because they're the ones with the most money fronting the production.
Yeah, but this
companies, man.
if you take out any if you try to judge if you try to judge this on its own, it is a series that you can tell it's trying to be something else. It's trying to be as good as its original, but if you're trying to judge it on its own, it's flat. It goes out of its way just to do woke bullshit. It wastes your time. It tries to make jokes that just aren't funny. It's just watch the original Scott Pilgrim versus the World movie. Okay? It's funny. It has a freaking all-star cast. It's directed by Edgar Wright, who is amazing.
Yeah, he's a great director.
The music is phenomenal. There's a reason why it's my favorite movie. And you know what? If you have, I'm done ranting. If you have any questions, I'm more than willing to answer them. Please do not waste your time on this animated series. It is like a necromancer.
It looks like the level of that Velma TV show that came out.
Yeah, it's like watching a necromancer reanimate one of your loved ones, and just seeing them puppet their body. It is. I can't believe I watched all of this. I don't know how I survived.
Well, Rondo, you know what, my man? It's over. Saw it once, don't ever see it again. Erase it from your memory and your heart. I will try my best. You know what? This is inspiring even more. My one shot for you, I'm promising you, I will make you forget the pain of this insult forever. Because holy shit, man, no one should go through a fucking Last Jedi. No one, okay? And I really want to give you a beer and a hug because you deserve it, dude. Shit. Now I'm fucking pissed off. And I didn't even see the show or read the comic book.
Stormcrow, you're always pissed off.
No,
I'm in a constant state of anger.
Facts.
Fun fact. My dog
he's always upset.
Was named Pilgrim, and I named him after Scott Pilgrim versus the World because my buddy and I told him I was adopting this dog, and we were thinking of dog names. We were playing Scott Pilgrim versus the World. He's like, name it Scott. I'm like, I'm not naming a dog Scott. Pilgrim.
How not sober were you?
Rondo, you know what? No. You know what we should do? We should find the creators of this motherfucker and fucking grab
Hey, calm down,
Minecraft is a wonderful game where anything you think of becomes reality.
No. Blame Trippy.
If you got all that energy, you should put it into writing, Stormcrow.
Yeah.
I saw The Big Lebowski, and I was inspired by my man Walter.
Yeah, it's not being very dude.
No,
you're not being very dude. You're supposed to be the dude.
Yeah. Stormcrow, I appreciate your sentiment, but that is a step too far, my friend. But thank you. I appreciate that. And Billy Bobtech, go fuck yourself.
Actually, that's a good place to end it off. No, I'm kidding.
All right, does anyone have any questions before I
Was the animation at least nice to look at? Or no?
Yeah, actually, it's the animation is done well, and it is in the style of the comic book.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was cool about it. But
again, all the marketing would have fooled you that this was an adaptation of the original source material.
It almost fooled me. Actually, it almost fooled me. Thank God I didn't see it. Thank you.
Let's just put it this way. When the original movie came out back in 2010 and it bombed at the box office because Hollywood didn't know what the hell to do with it. They didn't know how to promote it. This wasn't something they were used to. They didn't know what nerd culture was yet. You know, the reason I bring that up is I found it too good to be true that a decade later, a major Hollywood studio like Netflix, who, yes, they are now a major Hollywood studio, is funding a perfect animated adaptation. The animation looks perfect to the source material, and they got all the cast back that everybody loves. It sounds perfect, even though they did not know how to handle this 10 years earlier. And I think that ties a little bit into what certain people have been saying the past couple weeks about the death of mainstream nerd culture. In part because Hey, how's that box office return doing for the Marvels?